How to start a revolution. So you want to start a revolution? Well, if this Tommy Robinson case, Brexit and Trump have taught us anything, it's that it's easy to start a revolution, but finishing it, mind you, is another story altogether. But if you really want to start a revolution, you have to start with the injustice.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
This is where one set of people are having more advantages than another.
The furore around the Barclays rate fixing scandal has once again raised the question as to whether the bonus culture amongst bankers encourages bad conduct.
It tends to be normally caused by the establishment. It's unfair. You feel threatened. You feel distrust. You feel fear. You feel a contradiction. It can generally be answered with, why is it okay for thing A when thing B isn't allowed? For example,
Le Brexit a brisé un tabou.
Why is it okay the EU can make our laws if we struggle to make theirs? Why is it okay to make fun of Trump's skin colour when we can't make fun of Obama's?
You seem to be suggesting that you're hoping that A, Europe will offer reforms, and B, that the British people will accept those reforms and then decide they don't want to Brexit. And all that to happen in what? A few months?
Why is it okay for war criminals to have their say when other criminals don't?
Between 2010 and 2014, men predominantly of Pakistani, Bangladeshi and Indian origin targeted vulnerable girls and women.
Why is it okay for Muslim grooming gangs to not be discussed, but other criminality is?
I used to live not a million miles from Slough with the aeroplanes going over, and I must confess they didn't prove too bothersome then.
Eton,
that's absolutely right.
Why is it okay to make fun of the upper classes, but not the lower? There are plenty more examples on all sides of the political spectrum I could think of, but these examples should now be making your blood boil. So now we need a leader.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Somebody that represents you.
All I need's the right beer named after me. That's all we need. A proper British pint. Good brand. Pint of Farage, please.
A stereotype.
Well, what can I say except that compared to me, Walter is Mr. Muscle and I'm a fairly weedy fellow.
Somebody normal, intelligent and nice. An alpha. Somebody very outspoken. Somebody not part of the establishment.
Oh, we're going to build a wall, all right. Who's going to pay for the wall?
As someone willing to make radical change. And then we have to define the enemy.
They are the fake, disgusting news.
They tend to be the establishment, the other side of politics that you're not on. They tend to be the status quo, the mainstream media.
We were multicultural long before Korean Carnival. It's in our DNA.
A moaner, a whinger, a whiner, a snowflake, a champagne socialist. And now we need the breakthrough. The moment that sets you up apart from everybody else and gets this revolution going.
Well, at 20 minutes to 5, we can now say the decision taken in 1975 by this country to join the common market has been reversed.
The vote, the election, the court ruling, the poll, the party membership increases. The shock moment that nobody was expecting.
It's official. Donald Trump is elected the President of the United States of America.
That forces the mainstream media to no longer ignore it. Now comes the backlash.
What part of the word leave don't you understand?
The mainstream media will play it down. They'll discredit it.
President Donald Trump publicly called on Attorney General Jeff Sessions to end Robert Mueller's probe into Russia's interference in the 2016 election Wednesday.
The establishment will fight it. They'll reverse it. They'll hide it even. They'll take away democratic power.
British opposition Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn is accused of not tackling anti-Semitism in the party.
There'll be protests. They'll try and water it down to make it more digestible, but they'll only be playing into the revolution's narrative, making it stronger.
A porn star who goes by the stage name Stormy Daniels sitting down with Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes for a blockbuster interview, defying a temporary restraining order from an arbitrator to dish about her alleged affair with Donald Trump at a celebrity golf tournament back in 2006.
Did you want to have sex with him?
No.
And then comes a massive test of time. There will be battle after battle, each test of the leader's strength.
There was a new kind of campaign that was being run on the other side that nobody had ever faced before. Because it wasn't just all about me, it was how to suppress voters who were inclined to vote for me. When you have a massive propaganda effort to prevent people from thinking straight because they're being flooded with false information.
He's trying to scandalize the entire breakthrough, the wars that followed the uprising. Political casualties fall. There might even be real-life deaths. If the revolution survives, it's a standoff.
Our proposal will create a UK-EU free trade area which establishes a common rulebook on industrial goods and agricultural products. This will maintain high standards, but we will ensure that no changes can take place without the approval of our Parliament.
And then the ending. It can end one of three ways. Defeat.
I will never negotiate with people who use coercion and violence to achieve their objective. They are the enemies of democracy. They are not interested in the future of democracy. They are trying to kill democracy for their own purposes.
Victory.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Or surrender.
With a stroke of a pen.
I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated.
The revolution most likely will be forced to make a compromise, surrendering because carrying on the battle would be too bloody.
We have the government now talking about a no-deal scenario where we will have, and I'm quoting Dominic Raab, the Brexit Secretary, adequate food, where we will have stockpiling of food and medicine, and where the army will be on standby to distribute food and medicine. They didn't put that on the side of a big red bus, did they?
They've been embarrassed and they've betrayed their own supporters.
In a key sentence in my remarks, I said the word would instead of wouldn't.
The aftermath. Some leaders turn out to be evil after all.
One of the things that is difficult for me to comprehend is that we spent such a long time here.
Some turn into saints. Most get forgotten, assigned to history, painted over by their own movements, or erased from history by the enemy. The ability for people to rise up against the establishment gets forgotten.
We are approaching one of the biggest decisions this country will face in our lifetimes. Whether to remain in a reformed European Union or to leave.
Until the establishment least expects it again. Thanks for watching, join in the debate below and subscribe.